Okay, so the one things that I want to talk to you first about is when you go into the writing tomorrow, you won't necessarily know the topic, but what you will know are the things you want to show me. So you should go into tomorrow's topic with 6 to 8 things that you want to show me you know how to do. Like you want to show me you know how to do a must, or you want to show me you know how to do an I think, or you want to show me you know how to do may, like permission. So when you get your writing topic, even before you look at it, what you may wish to do is jot down, these are the kind of things we learned, because these are the kind of things that the teacher is looking for when she's marking. So you know how we always talk about on our marking rubric, the grammar reflects items learned in the course. Sometimes we get a topic and we're so busy writing about the topic we never stop and think, have we actually shown what it is that we've been learning? It's the same in any course. If you're taking history and you don't touch upon things that you've actually learned that are relevant to the topic, same kind of item. So this is the part where you have to be a little purposeful in what you're doing. And as you go through, you say, look, okay, I did use a must. Ooh, okay, I did do an opinion. Oh, okay, this doesn't really suit a may, but maybe it suits a may not. Okay, I worked one of those in there. And it's not saying that you have to use every single one of these, and I'm not saying you have to use these things. This is an example of what you should go in trying to show me. Because in trying to show me these kind of things, many of you are big fans of the tari she must thing. Okay, you're going to try to work that in. My big tips for writing go like this. First of all, you should have a good opening sentence, and it should not start with watashi or boku. If you think to your English course, you're never going to start a little piece of writing for your English teacher with I. You might want to start with a statement. You might want to start with, summer is an awful season, or math is the easiest subject in the world, and then therefore I like it, or something like that. But I would say a good opening sentence does not start with watashi or boku, even if you get that dreaded favorite thing, which is often a favorite topic because it allows you to tell a story about something. Favorites are always a favorite topic of teachers because it lets you tell a story. Don't start with watashi no ichiban daisuki na. I must tell you, as a marker, it's like I'm asleep at the start of that. Tell me why. You know, because I always go to Disneyland every summer. It's my favorite season. Now I'm hooked. Now I know I'm going to hear a story about going to Disneyland. Okay, that's a big one. So a good opening sentence doesn't start with watashi. It starts with some kind of statement, or it starts with a reason, or it starts with something that sets up what your paragraph is going to be about. You guys know from English, this is your topic sentence. And the rest of your paragraph should match this sentence. So it shouldn't be, because I always go to Disneyland, summer is my favorite season, and then you write about winter. Or then you write about going to the Rocky Mountains. So what you mention in your opening sentence, it should be reflected in the rest of your paragraph. Somewhere in that piece of writing, I should see a joined adjective. And just a reminder, that's an adjective joined to another adjective. That's the idea of and. And as a quick review, you can take an E adjective that ends in E, and remember we take off that E and do a kute and join it to something. Or you take that na adjective and you put in a day and join it to something. And that's also an awesome opportunity to show me you know na adjectives that look like E adjectives that are really na adjectives. So those are our old friends, yume, kire, kirai, and tokui. And if you can use those well, that's like an extra kick up in level. So I dislike and I dislike and think it's awful ice cream. I dislike it and think it's awful tasting. Ice cream wa kirai de mazui to omoimasu. It shows me that not only do you know how to join an adjective, but you also know kirai is an adjective, not an e adjective. So it's a nice way to kick up the particular level. That's one good thing to do. You should show me some kind of join sentence. And we know how to join sentences several different ways. One way we know how to join it is with a because, and that's with that kara. And remember, if we're joining with a because, the why goes first. And that's the different thing in English. So if you're worried about setting up your because sentence, think about how you would say it in English and remember that the because goes first. Because it's hot, I like summer. Not I like summer because it's hot. So take your because and put it first. We know how to join a sentence because we know how to join it using that tutty thing that we did. And when we do tutty, we know we have to have the plain past. And we know that the key thing we have to have is some form of she must. That gives us a join sentence. We know how to join a sentence using te form. Any kind of te form will join. Putting that verb in te form. And we know that when we put that in te form, it's the second thing we join it to that makes it past. Or it could make it negative. Or it could make it into the ing, all of those kind of things. That's a really good one to know. So you should in there have somewhere of a join sentence. One of the things that always in our rubric when we mark is it talks about sentences of different lengths. You should have an adverb. And I have spent my life as an adverb. Those are the lees. The quick lees, the slow lees, the quiet lees. And they're so easy to put in. Don't put it in every sentence. That's a bit of overkill. But doing at least one or two is really easy to do. Adverbs comes from adjectives. And we make them for E adjectives. For E adjectives, all we're going to do is take off the E and add a ku. So hayai for fast becomes hayaku, quickly. Na adjectives, all we're going to do is add the ni. So for shizuka, quiet, when we add the ni, quietly. Super, super, super easy way to level up your writing on a sentence. Really nice way to level it up. And takes no time at all and shows. And the other way that you can do it with an adverb is then to put something in front of it, like a totemo, or a skoshi, or a sugoku, or a choto, properly spelled. And those are other ways, those are different ways to sort of intensify the adverb. And those are really, 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 really easy ways to sort of level up the writing. You can also use these with adjectives. Really nice way to intensify it without having to know hardly anything. Okay. I think the other thing that's really key is to have an opinion on something. And I wrote in here to have a thought, especially one that shows something other than the positive. You are all very good at saying ski da to omoimasu and sugoi to omoimasu. And you're very good at knowing that if it ends in E, you don't need the da, and if it doesn't end in E, then you need the da to omo. You're very good at that, and this all springs from describing words, adjectives. But what's really, really going to also level up your writing is to use an action word or a verb. So, iku to omoimasu, shinai to omoimasu, tabeta to omoimasu. So I think he's going. I think he's not doing it. I think I ate all the sushi. Something, oh, gomenne, I forgot my bed. Tabeta to omo. In other words, show that you can use it with an action, not just a description. This is a really good satisfactory. That's awesome. This sticks it up a level. I think I'm going to go. Oh, this year, because I have to go to study chemistry, I don't think I'm going to go to the beach. Or I'm not going to go to the beach that much. I'm muddy. Remember, I'm muddy takes a negative, right? I'm muddy ikanai to omoimasu. So that's a nice, elegant way to show. One of the secrets when you're given a topic sentence, a topic to write about, is one of the good secrets is to tell a little story. My favorite season, my favorite city, my favorite subject. And when you get a topic like that, or my first day at school, or my something something, the best thing you can do is tell a little story. Because when you tell a story, that it shows or illustrates why something. And linking words are really, really good. So things like mazu, first. We saw that when we gave directions. Tsugi, next. Sore kara, then. Soshite, then. Sono ue, then, or on top of that. I love those because in English it sort of fits. So then, so then, so then. Sore kara, soshite, sono ue. All of those keep the action going. And then yato, finally, at the end. Finally. Oops, that spelled. There are also good ways to contrast. You guys are very good with demos. And demo is really, really poorly used by many of you because demo can only go at the start of a sentence. It can't go in the middle. So just to remember a couple of things. If you want to put a but in the middle, that's ga. But if you want to start a sentence, so notice we'll put the period there, then you could go with demo, or shikashi, or tokoro ga. All of those are buts or howevers. And they all start a sentence. Show me you know how to do that. That's terrific. Okay, these all start sentences. Yeah? Okay. The only other thing I want to talk about is, oh, there's two others, is be consistent. If you are working in the past tense because you're telling a story that happened in the past, then be consistent in the past. So when I used to get a piece of writing, even in French class, I used to get it, and before I even looked at the topic, I would write this down. In the past tense, what did things look like? It was mashita or masen deshita. It was kata des or kuna kata des. Or it was deshita or jana kata des. And I knew that for anything that I wrote, this is what a verb was going to look like, this is what an e adjective was going to look like, and that was what a na adjective was going to look like if this was in the past. Not if it was still true. So it was really fun. I love ice cream. You would, if you still love it, you would keep that in the present tense still. But if I used to have a little checklist, so if I knew I wrote about a story in the past, that's how I would go say, okay, yeah, I did that, I did that, I did that, and it was consistently in the past tense. And I would have a little checklist for me for the past tense. Remember that if you give opinions and your opinions are still true, they don't have to be in the past tense because they're still true. And I would also have a little plain form checklist. So we know that verbs in the plain form end in some kind of oo sound, and then they have some kind of ah sound plus nai, or some kind of nai sound. That's your negative. Then they have some kind of ta or da. I'm being really, really, really fast on this. And then they have some kind of na kata. That's what the verbs look like in the plain form. So they're oo sounds or ru sounds, sorry. Ah sounds and nais. And I don't forget my exceptions, etc. And my e adjectives are going to end in e, kunai, kata, and kuna kata, I'm going really fast here, sorry. My na adjectives are going to be da, janai, data, and janakata. And I also remember that this is also the plain forms of des. That's my cheat sheet. I write it down before I start writing or even thinking about what I'm going to write. And it's my little reference sheet, and I put it there so then if I need to remember how to do something, oh yeah, that was how I did that. Okay? And I go back and I do that. We call it in university, we used to call it a memory dump. We'd get the piece of paper, wouldn't even look at anything. We'd write out all the things we wanted to remember before we even wrote the test. Then we'd go look at the test. And finally, when you finish writing, you should have some kind of ending statement. It could start with dakara, therefore. It could be I'm going to spell this wrong, and it will be up on YouTube for all eternity that I cannot spell the word rhetorical, but it will, is that right? It will be a rhetorical question. You know, what is your favorite food? Not, thank you for reading this essay. Not at the start, hello. Imagine writing that on a paragraph for Mrs. Brown or Miss Meltzer. Imagine starting your English paragraph with konnichiwa or hello. You'd be dead. Imagine ending with sayonara or arigato or thank you in your English class. You'd never be returning. Same thing here. And with a rhetorical question or a dakara ice cream watashi no ichiban daisuki na tabemono desu.